Welcome back, everybody, to another Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous guide. Today it's going to be a build guide for the scary Trickster Cleric, which fears all the enemies so that they cannot attack you for the first round of combat and buffs up and your entire party with about plus 14 to their attack rolls. If that sounds good, then listen on, I guess. So, this guide is aimed for unfair difficulty. If you're playing on the lower difficulty, that is fine. The build still works. It might, though, work a little bit too well. I will say that even the highest difficulty, which is unfair difficulty, some encounters will actually, even on that difficulty, be trivialized by this build. So keep that in mind, but if that is fine for you, then let's just jump into it, shall we? So, I'm gonna have to tell you a little bit about the preparations that I've done. This is not necessary, by the way. If you have an extra 30 minutes to spare and want to get a slight advantage on your character, here's what you can do. When you level up your character as a Trickster, if you first pick up Perception rank 4, which you can, or Perception rank 2, which you at earliest can pick up on Mythic rank 4, then you will be able to take extra feats from a special Trickster list. So we're going to use one of those feats. It's completely optional, you don't need to do this. I know it's very annoying to like level your character up and do all these things just to pick up Perception rank 2, just to retrain him again and lose Perception rank 2. But if you're willing to do that, you can do a little bit of extra trick, and I'm going to show you what that is. So, first of all, let us talk to High Lord and begin our retraining. So I would not recommend, even if you're playing this on unfair difficulty, that you start off at this character. You can do it. Anyone can get through the absolute tutorial area before you get to the mongrel village. That should be doable by absolutely every character because you have some companions with you, of course. And then from that point on, you will be able to retrain those characters and you will be able to be carried. If you want to see how to do this, you can check out my playthrough of this, which is going to be a link down in the description if you want to see that, if you're interested. So, as I said, not recommended, but you can do it. And here's my recommended way, just retrain. Just retrain when you are level 9, because this required the 3rd level Mythic path, or Mythic level. It requires your 3rd Mythic level to be able to function. And of course it requires you to be Trickster, that goes without saying. If you're not a Trickster, you can still do this sweet Cleric build that we have here. You can still buff up your party with about plus 14 to their attack, but you will still not be able to... you will not be able to scare everybody for the first round of combat, which is very, very strong. So, we are going to go with the... where is it? Cleric. You can go anything, actually, with Cleric. Anything is fine that is not locked to good, I think, like Angel, Fire, Apostle. You can go Crusader, you can go Ecclesiarch, you can go Herald Caller. I'm just gonna go Herald Caller, but it simply does not matter what you go with. I'm gonna select Damper. You can select actually anything which has a bonus to both Strength and to Wisdom. So we're gonna go the Nosferatu-born, but there are other races which you can also do this with if you're interested in going with a different race than Damper, even though I love my Damper so much. Next you need to go Oblate, Acolyte. That is of course because the Persuasion, when we use Persuasion, we are using our Wisdom instead of Charisma, which is going to be important because we're not going to have a high Charisma, but we're going to have a very high Wisdom on this character. So that is very, very important. Next, Dump Dexterity. Dump Intelligence. We need to max out our Strength. We need to max out our Wisdom. And 11 Constitution. Anything else, just into Constitution, why not? Next, we need Persuasion. On every level we're going to go Persuasion, of course. This is a very much... this entire build is dependent on Persuasion, of course. We're going to use the Demoralize ability, which we're going to get from Trickster Mythic path, which casts Demoralize on every enemy that starts combat versus us. And then, of course, we're going to upgrade that... shaken condition that they get from being demoralized into feared, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So, Persuasion and use Magic Device is what we need. Then we're going to select our feats, and if you didn't do this thing, you will not have, if you didn't go for picking up first the Trickster Mythic path and go into Perception rank 2, you will not have completely normal spell available to you, but it's a very, very, very good meta magic feat. It's the best one by far. It makes it so that you can make something decrease 1 level. Essentially, if you use this with level 1 spells, they will become level 0, and you'll have an infinite use of these. Right now, there's also a bug with this thing, which makes it so that you can turn anything into a level 0 spell and cast any spell any amount of times. Use this if you want to use it. Don't use it if you don't want to use it, just telling you. But complete normal spell is of course the best mathematic you can absolutely get. And you can only get that through Trickster Mythic Path. Here there's a bug in the interface, don't worry about that. We just need to go to Domain and then to Deity. I'm gonna select Gostre. Gostre has the ability to first select an animal companion from the animal domain, and also they have the ability to, they can be neutral. And we need to be neutral because we are tricksters, which needs to be either neutral, chaotic lawful, or chaotic good. And we're just gonna select neutral, because why not? We're gonna channel negative energy since we are a damper. We're gonna go to the domain, which is animal, so that we get an animal companion starting from level 4, which is going to help us, not maybe completely useless, but we are very bad. It's extremely bad on unfair difficulty in the early game, which is why I said you will need to get carried through the early game with this character. We're gonna go neutral. It's alignment, but chaotic neutral is of course also fine. You want to? And I don't know why I always select this particular appearance, but I always do. Okay, confident. Name cognac, why not? It's nice to drink some cognac from time to time. Okay, level 2. Cleric. More persuasion, of course. Use magic devices so that I can use scrolls, by the way, if you're wondering why are we picking up that. You can go anything at this point. You don't need to go use magic devices. I just think it's easier to click because it's close to each other. I know. So, now we've selected that. Now we're gonna go, why did it go strength, you might ask? Well, that is because we're gonna go intimidating prowess. Add your strength modifier to persuasion skill, in addition to your charisma modifier. Oh, okay. So now we get our wisdom, and we get our strength. Okay. So that's a little bit of persuasion there. If you're wondering why do you have 24 wisdom here, that's because we have a headband of wisdom on us. And now we're gonna get to 25. And eventually later on we're gonna get to 30, because of course we want to buff everybody up. You can go with any animal companion. I personally like the elk, but you might be better off if you play this from the absolute beginning. You might be better off with the horse, because the horse you can ride immediately when you hit level 4 here. The elk you will not be able to do that until it hits level 7. Personally though, since we are retraining, I'm gonna go with the elk because it has slightly better stats. And we're min-maxing, right? So we're gonna go with the elk. Okay, elk collar. It's still fast also. It's fast and it's high constitution if you're wondering. Well, pick that up. Feat is going to be now skill focus, of course. Persuasion. Yep. Oh, if you don't know what skill focus persuasion does, by the way. +3 bonus on all checks involving persuasion. If you have 10 more ranks, which you're gonna get, of course, this bonus increases to 6. Yeah. So far so good. Level 5, also cleric. And not this character still is kind of useless. Until we hit level 8, level 9, we are not doing much with this character. Yep. And next level we are going to go here. Let's see. You can go boon companion, by the way, on this level if you want to. Because it might be useful for you if you picked up the elk, for instance. You can do that. Which I did, I guess, but I have this order in my head, which is hard to get out how I should pick everything up. Next, we're not gonna go. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna go deceitful, yes, and then we're gonna go persuasive level after that. But first, we're gonna go level 8. This is the last level. We're gonna go cleric, badoosh, and at this point, you will actually have a usable character. Actually, at this point, because at this point we're also gonna add mythic character levels, but I'm gonna add them later on. I'm first gonna go to the regular levels and then the mythic levels. At this point, your character will actually be useful, can do something, which I think is good. We're gonna go into not Slayer. We're gonna go into Rogue. I'm gonna select the Thug. So the Thug has frightening. Whenever the Thug successfully uses a persuasion to demoralize a creature, the duration of the shaken condition is increased by 1 round. In addition, if the target is shaken for 4 or more rounds, the target becomes frightened for 1 round. This is how we give everybody frightened. Again, shaken is just minus stats, minus to their attacks, minus to their saves. Frightened means they have to move away from us. They can't take any hostile action. They can't cast any spells. They can't do anything but run away, which is perfect. That's why we're picking up the Thug. We level up persuasion, keep going there. Then you can go with whatever you feel like at this point. I always like having a little perception on my characters. Maybe stealth, doesn't matter. And then feat is going to be, you can again select boon companion if you want to, but since we are retraining, I'm not going to do that. We're gonna go Persuasive, of course. Which, of course, gets a +2 bonus on all Persuasion skill check if you have 10 more ranks. +4. Nice. Next level, we are going to go Alchemist. This might seem weird to you. You can go anything that has a mutagen here. It's fine, but I'm gonna add Vivisectionist because it also gets sneak attack, and we're not gonna use bombs. So, and I love it also. I'm gonna go with these things. Spells, you can go anything you feel like. I'm just gonna select True Striker. And then level 11. It's very important. We're gonna go Vivisectionist. And we are going to go, let's see, Persuasion there. That's in there. And we're gonna go. Now we should have everything, right? Let's see. We have Intimidating Prowess, Skill Focus Persuasion, Deceitful, and Persuasion. Now we're ready to go. Boon Companion. There it is. Boon Companion. Medical Discovery has to be the Cognatogen. This is so that we can add even more wisdom. And the wisdoms, of course, serves two purposes with this build. I'm going to show you why. Of course, wisdom is added to our persuasion roll. Same to with our strength. So that we will be able to fear everything. We can do a spell here, does not matter. And then we get to the Mythic ranks. And this is when it gets interesting. You can select anything here, actually. I'm just going to go with the Dance Macabre. Or maybe Force Reality. Doesn't matter at all, really. Select what you like. What feels best to you. Next, we are going to go Impossible Domain. This you will pick up. The first thing you will pick up with this character is going to be Impossible Domain, and you're of course going to go Community Domain. Where is it? There it is. Community. Of course, Community Domain has Guarded Hearth. It creates a ward protecting a specific area. It's a full round action. It takes very long actually to cast this. But cast this before combat. You cast this where they are standing, the enemies, and then you run in, and you have this bonus on you. All friendly creatures in the area receive a sacred bonus equal to your wisdom modifier on all saving throws and attack rolls. It's going to give you about +10 on your attack. Since we're going to have the Cognatogen, which is going to give us +4. We have a headband of wisdom, or we can cast the wisdom spell on us. If you don't have that headband, you can just cast Owl's Wisdom, whatever it's called. Put that on you. Then you're gonna have a +10 from your Guarded Hearth. Guarded Hearth, you can give to everybody. It lasts for a very long time, lasts 1 hour per level. Which is insane, so this is one of the best abilities in the game. We're gonna pick that up. Next, Mythic rank 2. You don't have to go this thing when I'm gonna show you here, but I'm gonna tell you it's gonna make your life a lot easier if you go Last Stand. This makes you unkillable for 2 rounds, and it's often enough to not die. And die, of course, means that you get grayed out on your portrait, and you need to get resurrected, and you will have negative levels, and then you have to remove the negative levels, and yada yada yada. A hassle. Just go Last Stand. Just go Last Stand. It's not really a part of the build, but it's nice to have that survivability. Then we're gonna go Impossible Domain again, and we're gonna pick up not Glory, Nobility. There it is. Nobility gets Inspiring Command at level 8. You can. By the way, this thing that we're doing here is called Impossible Domain. You can only select it if you're a Cleric, and you need to have level 8 because all these good abilities that you get from these domains are level 8. So at 8 level you can issue an Inspiring Command to allies. All allies must be within 30 feet of you. Affected allies gain +2 insight bonus on attack rolls, AC, and of course insight. It does not stack with True Strike, but it stacks with essentially everything else. So you're always going to be able to do this. So now we're up to +12 on our attack rolls with Nobility. Nice! Then we're going to select Persuasion, of course, rank 1, and this is when it starts getting nuts, because it's when everything starts off as feared. Everything is just going to run away from you at the beginning of combat, and you are going to be a god at this point when I get this Persuasion skill. This is going to be around level 9, level 10, depending on how many side quests and stuff you do, stuff like that. And what difficulty you're playing on, because you get more experience, of course, if you are fighting more monsters, for instance. So, we are gonna select spells here, does not matter actually. And lastly, level 4, you are actually free to go pretty much whatever you want. There are a couple of other nice domains here that I think you could consider going. As for instance, you could go, let's see here, you could go Madness Domain. You can have a 30-foot area where you force everybody to be confused, but I think we select this. There's also the sun domain, where you could go for the animal companion, but essentially your character is complete at this point. It doesn't need anything extra. So we're going to go madness domain for this particular character. Then you can go whatever you like here. I like going knowledge world, doesn't do much yet, but knowledge world on second rank, of course, turns every roll of a 1 in our party into a 20. So that's very nice for later. Persuasion rank 2, of course, when we get to the 4th mythic rank. In addition to everything being feared, if they also fail this saving throw, they will also become helpless and just stand still. If they fail a will saving throw with DC of 10 plus your ranks in persuasion. This is ranks, by the way. This is not your persuasion modifier. It's not going to be like plus 50, which we have on our persuasion at this point. It's going to be about plus 11 for ranks of 22. So most things, if you're playing this on unfair difficulty, very seldom this is going to be relevant. Maybe 1 in 3, 1 in 4, something like that. People are going to just be stunned for 1 round and be helpless. Which is of course better than running away. It's even easier to hit them. And then we're gonna add, let's see here, Feather Step. Actually, it doesn't matter at all where to go where. My personal recommendation is gonna be Invisibility and Mirror Image. Very, very nice spells. And complete. And that is the character. What are we gonna go then for stats, you might ask? Or not stats, what are we gonna go for equipment? There's a couple of nice things that you could pick up on this character. I personally do like the duality of conjuration and summoning. If you're interested in seeing how you can find this item, I actually have a guide on how to find this item. This you find at the same place where you meet the Lich. If you have unlocked the Lich Mythic Path, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, other very nice items. I really like having summoning items on this type of characters. So, Ring of Summoning you can get from crusading out in the world. There's going to be, you can see the rewards when you hover over things on the map. There's going to be one particular place where one monster or whatever has Ring of Summoning. You can just go pick that up. You can summon Monster 8 with this, which is cast level 15. All allies, including the wearer within 30 feet, gain a +2 bonus to weapon damage rolls and +2 saving throws against attacks made or effects created by chaotic creatures. So this is really, really nice. And getting those Axiomites is very, very good. They don't deal that much damage. They have a lightning spell that they cast, and they also cast Hold Monster. And they don't often get off Hold Monster on unfair difficulty. It happens once every, I don't know, 100th attempt or something that they got off the Hold Monster. But when they do, feels good. This is also a combo together with Belt of Demonic Shadow, which you can find when you are doing the Wolf Gig quest. When you're out, when you go to Winter Sun for the first time, there's going to be a random event where you fight some bandits, and then you will also fight, or you find the Belt of Demonic Shadow at that point. It has, whenever the wearer of the spell casts a spell of level 6 or higher, it summons a shadow demon to fight alongside. And of course, if you cast this spell, which is level 7 or higher, it's a level 15 spell that you are casting, which means that this is going to trigger. So you're not only going to get the Axiomites from Ring of Summoning, you're also going to get the shadow demon on your side. So with this you can get up to, let's see, 5 Axiomites, you can get a Shadow Demon, and you can get up to 3 Devas, or you can get the Nabasa Demons. Other nice things, of course, a Headband of Inspired Wisdom saves you from having to cast a buff on yourself, so that's a nice thing. And you can go with pretty much whatever you like. I happen to have a nice Cloak of the Ancient Herald and a Blaze of Disaster, but I don't remember exactly where I got this item, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. So, other things, if we go into the spellbook, how do you get +14 on all your attacks, you might ask? Well, first of all, you're going to, of course, use the Guarded Hearth. Guided, what it's called. I'm going to look into our abilities here. Here it is. Guarded Hearth. So if you cast this ability, you'll see that it takes quite a long time, but it's also covering quite a long area. You can cast this, you don't have to cast this next to yourself. You can cast this about here if you want to. Anywhere you can see, you can cast this thing. And while we are in this Guarded Hearth, we're of course going to get plus, now it's only +6 to our saves, because I'm an idiot and I didn't cast the Cognitive and Wisdom before I used this ability. But you will be able to get +10, of course, if you're a little bit smarter. And so that's +10. Then you can also get, of course, +2 from Inspiring Command. Badoosh. Takes a long time. It's a full round action to cast this. So cast this before combat, or you can cast this in combat, because you're probably not doing much in combat anyways. For the first round, you will be safe anyways. And then the last buff, of course, is going to be under our spellbook. We're going to pick up Heroism. If you want to have more than one Heroism, I'm gonna show you a little bit of trick, but use this only if you feel like you need to. You can go with the Metamagic. You can use the Metamagic feat here that we got. Turn it to level 3 spell. Write it. Oh, but wait. Okay. So this, of course, Metamagic reduces the spell level by 1. Okay, so we add it again. So now it's level 2. Let's see here again, you say. Metamagic. Okay, there it is. Level 1. Okay. Metamagic. Okay, this is a perfectly balanced game without any bugs. And now we have here a small level 0, and you can cast it any amount of times. But use this only if you feel like using. Yeah, that's gonna be it for this guide. But as I said, this character kind of trivializes a lot of the game with all the fears that you can get from this. But if you feel like it, try it out. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.